If you go to Google Play, you can download the app and have the app on your smartphones. So, I mean, everything we do, we don't ask for a dime. We do it because we are fans, and we're fans first. And we've been fans for many, many years. And Derek and I, we've been fans since first weekend they ever see Saints, right? So we're talking about 50 years. So, and as well as Coach and Remy. And so I tell you, we have a great lineup. We have great shows, great information, and people, over the 20,000 that follow us on Twitter, over the 18,000 that follow us on Facebook. I mean, continue to support us, continue to be able to help us to deliver the best, but also put the word out and keep on helping us to be able to get more people listening in to our syndications. And I mean, it's free. What can you lose? I'm starting to sound like Donald Trump. It's free. What can you lose? But so, hey, just continue to follow us and support us. And we've now in our 7th season, and we hope that you continue to follow us for many, many more.
And I also want to give out a shout out, thank you to, because we're not in competition with anybody. Get well, Big T.
Big T, yes.
Big T,
yeah.
Continue healing. Shout out to Christian and Mike with WWL, because they're friends to the show. And so we're not in competition with our other brothers' shows that also report on the things. We're all one big family, one in the root, the black and gold to victory. So we're not in the competition. Canal Street Chronicles, everybody.
Right.
There's enough room for everybody. We wish everybody success. And so just continue, to go out there. I will stack up Saints News Radio up against not only any other Saints broadcasting family, but any NFL broadcasting family. I am very proud to be a part of this network. So I wanted to say that. So check us out. Don't forget on Sunday nights to check out our ministerial and our uplifting shows with life experiences with myself, the elect lady with Pastor Mildred Darlene Simpson, and Dispersion Radio with Minister Terrence Johnson on Sunday nights. For those of you that are believers of Jesus Christ, and those of you that believe in the Holy Scriptures, and those of you that need inspiration and encouragement. And even if you don't believe, check us out. It may transform your life that you become a believer. Because in the times we're in, with all of the strife and everything that's going on, all of the corruption and everything that's going on and being exposed, all of the natural disasters, you're going to need encouragement in these days that we're living in. There is so much going on. So check us out and get your inspiration and get your encouragement. If you don't have a good local church that you're going to, check us out on Sundays. Because you will get the word, you will get prayer, and you will be taught about faith. So check us out on the Real Walk Network, www.realwalknetwork.com. All right? So we appreciate all the support and love that everyone has given us. It is greatly and dearly appreciated. All right, let's get back to analyzing these grades as we have a few more minutes. But I want to go to the defense. Despite the 2 plays, the pass to the speedster on Tyreek and the poorly tackled and misangles stuff that went on with the Spencer Ware screenplay. And if you take away those 2 plays, the Saints only gave up 14 points. And my grade for the defense overall was a A-, because they played well enough for the Saints to win. And you've got to remember always, there are 10 key contributors gone out for this defense. For this defense to go to Arrowhead and to play like this as well as the Giants, I have to give, Coach Allen a thumbs up that he's doing the best with what he has to work with. This game and the Giants game should have been won by the Saints offense easily. And so I'm going to give the A-. The areas of the Saints defense that are still questionable to me is, once Stephon Anthony is healed, what's going to happen with him? You hear rumors or grumblings about trading him. I think that would be a horrible mistake. You have to ask yourself what is going on with Laurinaitis, the high-priced free agent that we picked up. You know, what's going on with his play? Because we thought the linebacker play was going to be our strength, as well as the secondary, because we had a lot of players, but a lot of that has evolved now into something else. You have Stupor and Robinson. We don't know the status of Ellerby, whether he's totally healed. You have Marty there. So I don't know what's going on with the linebackers. Also, the mystery also with Tyler Davidson, who had a great camp, but has not played, just not really been there. The mystery with John Jenkins, not really doing a whole lot. And also our high-priced Cam Jordan, who's a solid player, just has not been able to get a whole lot of stats. So these are some of the questions that the fans and people are commenting on and talking about, in terms of the play. Kenny Vaccaro, I think, is playing at a Pro Bowl level. Unfortunately, he's on a defense that's bad, so he may not get his notice. And because he's not making a lot of interceptions, he may not get the recognition that he needs to receive. But I am so proud of how Kenny is turning into a very solid safety. Vaughn Bell is learning under Kenny. Jarvis Bird, I don't know what's going to happen with Jarvis Bird. I'm hoping things work out for Jarvis Bird, but after you listen to the recording by Kenny Vaccaro, I don't know. He didn't say names, but many people kind of made their own assumption of what and whom Kenny was talking about.
Hey, can we just stay right there, Professor? Because that's important, man. Because right now, if you have always been kind of keen when you can feel something's going on in the locker room that's not right. You called it right last season as well as the season before last. Do you think right now this defense is at a tipping point, or they're at a crossroads? Because right now, other than the Cleveland Browns, Oakland, and who else? San Francisco, Saints are right there giving up over 400 yards per game. It's not all the safeties' fault, but if you look at some of these plays, you've got to really understand that a guy like Cam Jordan, as well as a high-priced guy like Bird, they're not making the contributions that we need them to make.
I don't know what to say other than what Kenny stated. We know what we should do. The coaches are teaching us that we know what to expect. But when they get out on the field, they just don't do it.
That's alarming, man. That's really alarming.
That means you have a lack of concentration issue. It goes back to that intangible. There are some players in the NFL that are very disciplined, and there are others, and a great majority of them, because it's not just the Saints. When you look at what I think the statistic I saw today, 20 out of 32 teams have won 3 or 4 games. You have a average league now. Average. It's an average league. A 2-4 team like the Saints can easily on Sunday beat the Seattle Seahawks that are 4-1-1. There is not a whole lot of difference between 2-4 and 4-1 at all. You saw that Philadelphia blew out Minnesota. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the only team right now that looks solid is the cheating Patriots. Sorry, New England Patriots. Sorry, had the wrong synonym that went in front of Patriots.
No, you were right.
Sorry to all you people up there in Boston and all there in the Northeast. I lived up there for 4 years, so I know all about that region. But that's it. Everybody else on any given Sunday, as the movie states, any given Sunday, a 1-5 team, even though the Carolina Panthers are struggling at 1-5, they can, on any given Sunday, they can beat everybody in the NFC. That's the same thing with the Saints. So what you have now is, in the words of Michael Smith from His and Her, and the well of Stephen A. Smith, Corruption mixed with pollution leads to delusion. Diluted product. That's the only way I can say it. And it looks like the young players, no offense, because I can be y'all father to all of y'all in the NFL. I'm old enough. Is the play of the NFL and the product has gotten weakened because the players are a lot of drop passes, a lot of penalties, and I'm not just talking about the Saints. Games after games, and as I stated this Wednesday, I don't really enjoy watching football as much as I used to because the play has become so sloppy. And that means the players' focus and concentration on what the coaches are teaching them is not working. Because after you leave the practice, you've got to go study film. You've got to do some things outdoors at your home or whatever to make sure your craft is at an excellent level. And I don't believe that's what's happening. Social media has distracted and getting my brand out, my brand name, and seeing how many followers I can get on social media and Twitter and Periscope and Instagram and all of this stuff has now sidetracked these younger players from my perspective. From my perspective. I don't know what you do after you leave practice. Also, the NFL cutting back the amount of practices and training camp sessions also is an inhibitor. Because when the more practices they had in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, the more people that you had, that you could have, that it would lead to more and more and more of you being homing in on your craft. So I can't explain and answer that, Kyle. I don't know what's happening with Cam. You know, that he's not able to get. I know he gets double teamed a lot. But I do know that the Saints don't have continuity. Again, I said this last year in 14. You have a whole bunch of different players that are trying to grow together, and until you get continuity, you know, Craig Robinson and Stupar were not playing on this line last year. Nick Feller was not playing. Crawley, Harris, these guys were not playing for the Saints last year. So they're trying to learn other players from other teams, and you're trying to bring this all together. And it takes continuity. When you look at the Saints Super Bowl year, those players had been together for about 2 to 3 years for Jeter and all of those guys. So they had been together for going into their 4th year. This set of defensive players, they have not been together but 6 games. Injuries have riddled the team. And
yeah.
P.J. Williams and Daniel Swan, you know, by them being out so much, they've never had a full season.
Right.
Keenan Lewis is gone, so it's just a very difficult situation to assess what's wrong in terms of why we can't get it together. There is definitely a bunch of variables that have to be considered to try to assess it, and it's just something that it's not easy to assess.
Yeah.
One simple sentence. They're just unable to get the job done. But they did get the job done in Kansas City. They did get the job done in the Giants game.
New York,
they got the job done in the first half of the Raiders. They got the job done in the first half of the Carolina game. They didn't get the job done in that. And really, overall, second half of the Carolina game and the Falcons game, and then in the fourth quarter of Kansas City, that's the only quarters they played bad. They played a total of 4, 6. They played a total of 7 bad quarters out of 24. That's enough for you and the offense we have to win those games. I can't fault them all the way. Yes, they've given up yardage, but they have played only 7 bad quarters, from my perspective, from my analysis. So what happened in the other 17? The offense did not do their job and do their part in holding the metal to the pedal and continuing drives. Because, as I keep stating, in order for the New Orleans Saints to win, you have to come to the recognition and realization that this team is contingent on the New Orleans Saints offense carrying it to a Super Bowl. It will not be off of the defense. And yes, I know defense wins Super Bowls, but in this particular instance of this team and where it's at right now, Coach Sean Payton, Pete Carmichael, and Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints offense say, we have to carry this team. As we go toward our defense, it's not going to be the other way around. That's not the situation that the New Orleans Saints are in to be able to make that statement.
Right. Well, you know what's pretty interesting even though that we're at 2-4,